All right, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Friday, you should have completed your benchmark, and if not, I updated the due date to Monday the 19th because it is a district benchmark and it will be a grade on the next marking period. So if it's not done, you need to make sure you get a move on it, okay? By Wednesday, I'll start reminding you and your parents via email that this district expectation has not been completed. So we're going to move on this week. We're going to learn some new things about purpose and audience. And just a reminder that Wednesday, all of your missing work is due. So you should not be shutting everything down just to complete that, right? Like, I understand that that is necessary for you to pass, but we are still responsible for the content that is in your Schoology. So do what you can when you can. But if you're weeks behind, you can't just shut everything down because you're just going to keep snowballing things out of control. So reach out to me if there's anything I can do to help you. So today, like I said, we're going to talk about purpose and audience. And so I relinked your purpose chart notes here. You should have them somewhere. I asked you to download them, or hopefully they're in your Google Drive. But when I refer to this purpose chart from now on, it's going to be up to you to figure out where that is. So if you haven't already downloaded your own copy, do so, or take a picture of it. So these were the 8, I believe, different types of purposes. So you have express and reflect, inform and explain, evaluate and judge, inquire and explore. So right there are at least 8. So then you have analyze and interpret, that would be 10, and then take a stand or propose a solution would be 12. So there are actually 12 different types on here. And then you have the descriptions as to what they're doing, right? Are they reflecting on their own life? Are they reflecting on experiences or expressing emotions about something or frustration? All of these verbs, right? Express, explain, judge, all of these are action verbs. And so you need to pull from one of these 12 verbs when I ask for you to discuss purpose, okay? Anything else, you're not getting the points for it. It has to come from those notes. Then here, when we talk a little bit about audience and purpose, I want to make sure you understand what that means before we practice it. So your audience determines how the subject matter is addressed. It is how you incorporate certain details or what you want to emphasize or what tone you want to take. The audience is never everyone. Never, ever, ever should I hear or read you say, the target audience is anyone who can read. No, that's not the targeted audience, right? Why would I care about underwater basket weaving? I'm not the target audience. It would be somebody whose skills are specific to that, right? So depending upon what the platform is, right? Like today we're going to watch an SNL skit. So Saturday Night Live. Obviously, what kinds of people are going to be watching Saturday Night Live? People with a sense of humor, right? People who maybe want to escape some of the harsh realities of the world and be entertained, right? And or any of those things, right? Not everybody wants to watch Saturday Night Live. It's also not appropriate. Like 5-year-olds probably shouldn't be watching it, or they wouldn't understand the jokes. So again, I highlighted that because I don't ever want to see in your writing that it was everyone, okay? So I will automatically mark it wrong. So one of the things I said to think about who would most likely be impacted or influenced by the subject matter. Every form of communication is created with the audience in mind. Everyone. These videos that I make for you every day, they're not for everyone, even though they're on a YouTube public platform. They're directed for people in my class. Otherwise, nobody else is going to really understand or care about what's in these videos. So then for purpose, things you want to consider, again, is 2 plus the action verb. And those 12 verbs on that purpose chart are what I'm talking about. And then clarifying phrase, meaning you need to explain whatever it is, right? If it's expressing what? If it's proposing a solution, what's the solution? So things to consider, why is this communication important? Why is it needed or relevant? Okay, so the skit, why would it be something that they choose to include as one of their montages, right? They have lots of different skits throughout the whole program. What will the targeted audience do with the information, right? What is the intended outcome? So we already know who might be watching. What should people do with that, right? How should their thinking change? So remember, your purpose chart includes those action verbs, right? And the descriptions next to them are helpful when you're trying to connect the type of purpose to whatever intended outcome it is. So you're going to use these notes and these guiding questions to help you with looking at purpose and audience, okay? So we're going to watch this skit. I'm going to pause this video here. So if you're watching with me, pause my video right here and take about a minute and a half to go ahead and watch the skit. Okay, hopefully you weren't too disgusted by that skit. It got a little ridiculous right at the end. So I want you to answer this written response today. And based on your notes, who is the intended audience of this skit, right? Not only just SNL viewers, but what is the skit about, right? It's about this idea of Taco Town. So how do you know the intended audience is a group of whatever people you specified, right? Would it be people who tend to make fun of people who are extreme and radical about certain things? What about people who have a misunderstanding of Mexican food or what it's supposed to be or whatever, right? Like, yes, we have SNL viewers, but what specific types of viewers would be the intended audience? And then again, how do you know? And then based on your purpose chart and your notes, okay, what is the purpose of the skit? So one of those 12 different types of purposes, and then discuss, what do you know? Think about those guiding questions, okay? What is the intended outcome? So the overall argument that they're making in this skit, right, is that there becomes a point where things are taken a little bit too extreme. And maybe any idea, right, even if it's a good idea, when we over exaggerate it or take it to extreme, then it's no longer really relevant, right? At that point, it's just silly and nobody's really taking it serious. So if we're talking about authenticity and we start throwing in all these things that kind of sway our perspective of what's really true and real, then you lose credibility, right? And I think that's what SNL's aim is in all of their montages, is that they shed light on, you know, the true thing, but then they exaggerate certain things to make a point, because at some point, if you're not realizing it, then you're being ridiculous, right? And that's kind of their whole approach in terms of SNL. So you're just going to use the Create tab here. There should be a submissions part where you click on Create and you're just going to type in your answer there. All right, so I look forward to seeing you guys on Zoom, and we'll talk to you soon.